Oh, what a beautiful evening. Hello, everybody. Let me just shut the door. It has been a while since I've done one of these live streams, and I'm excited to be back. I'm sat in the garden, and the usual way these work, because I just waffle on right at the beginning to give people time to see the notification on their phone that a live session is happening. But basically, I didn't want to schedule this live session because what I found when it comes to scheduling live sessions is that it just doesn't, I don't tend to get the audience, doesn't seem to work. So this is purely an experiment. I actually think this is the first jump back on spontaneous live session that I've done since the beginning of the year, actually. Also, what is with all these curls? Like, the curls are legit. But welcome. Thank you for joining me. I can see Matthew and Gaza. That's a good name. You guys have joined. So if you're new here, pop a comment on the side. Let me know where you're tuning in from. That'd be super nice. I love that you guys naturally do. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Carl. Look at this. All the familiar faces. Beautiful. Marjorie from the Netherlands. Fantastic. There is a point in which I actually stop reading the side because I can't read and talk at the same time. But I'm actually so organized today. I have a tiny little note. Look at this. What? To jump on some things. I've got a few things really that I just want to share with you. And I've wanted to do a live session for a while, but I'm having internet problems. And also just wanted to time it right so that I can probably sit down with you guys and have a chat. I put my earphones in because the kids up at the top of the farm are playing, and you may also hear sheep in the background because there's sheep everywhere around here. There's the joy of living on a farm in Exmoor. Where's my hat? My hat is inside. I was lazy and decided just to keep this one on. So I'm in this hat. This hat actually has a story. This, you see that, is the Black Yak. So it's the brand. Who is that car? I was just checking to see if that was Anna. This is the Black Yak hat. So many of you guys know that I spoke at the National Outdoor Centre. They had National Outdoor Expedition. That's the one. Expedition. Expo. Oh my gosh, it's not happening, is it? The National Outdoor Expo. There we go. Earlier this year, and we had a little wander around, and there was the Black Yak were they had a stall, and they had like 20 odd hats, and I went through all the hats, and I decided to buy this one in the end because I love my 66° north ones, but what happens is they stretch, so I get through them quite quickly. So I've got this one now, Ping Pow, and it's made of yak wool, obviously, because it's yak. So it feels super nice, and I've worn it on the West Highland Way, and I've worn it on my mountain leader training and assessment actually, and I've worn it during some training as well in Wales. So yeah, it's all good really. So I thought basically we'd just have a general little hangout session. There's a few things I want to sort of get out and sort of bring you up to speed with, but if you have questions, do pop them on the side. If you do have a question, I'd super appreciate it going on the sides in capitals. Can look like you're shouting at me, not gonna lie, but it's helpful because then I can scroll through quicker and I can see who's what. I mean, we've not got a massive team here right now, but it's super nice to be hanging with you guys. So hopefully you got a cup of tea, coffee. We'll probably just hang out for another 15-20 minutes or so. We're going to keep this quite short and chill today, but yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. And actually I'm sat in a new table and chair that Anna bought. So yeah, so basically first thing first, I really wanted to, I'm going to jump to the case. So we went to the cinema last night. We went to watch Downton Abbey. Yeah. Hands up if you like Downton Abbey. Hands up if you love Downton Abbey. No shame in admitting it. Really, really enjoyed Downton Abbey. And we got through the series through Netflix very quickly. And really just enjoyed it. It's a really nice escapism. And Anna tells me, there we go, we got a hand. Where do I done, Janine? Anna she was going to take me as a surprise in the end, but I found out, so or I was panicking about what to do about Bobby actually. But we went to see Downton last night, which was really nice. Really enjoyed it. Good escapism, and we definitely needed it because it has been manic. We've seen each other for 4 days pretty much this month, or April rather. Geez, we're in May and I'm still like this month. So that was a really nice treat. But actually, speaking of cinemas, I also got to watch a really, really cool new film that is actually due to reach the cinemas on the 6th of May. And it's a film called Wild Men. And the production company sort of reached out because I love all those hands. Look at that. Reached out because they well, basically they thought I'd be sort of interested in it and I'd be quite a good fit, and I can definitely see where they're coming from having watched it. So let me just find the trailer for this film, because it's very interesting, in a sense that it's Danish. I've got to try and find it now. should have had that. Here we go. Trailer images. Oh right. I should probably easier, guys, if you're just on YouTube, Google Wild Men. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Never mind. Let me just find it for you. Wild Man. I meant to have this up, but as I said, I've been having internet problems. Right, it's probably going to be noise in the background if I don't catch it. So here's a little link for you guys to have a watch of when you're finished with this live session. So the link I've just shared on the side now. So they sent me through the trailer, and I found it quite funny, actually. A little edgy, but kind of cool. So I had the real privilege of watching this before it hit the cinemas, and as I say, it is in Danish, but so it's subbed for us in English, and it's out in the cinemas on the 6th of May across UK and Ireland. And I really wanted to give it a little bit of a heads up for you guys, because I actually think you'll, well, not that I know your taste, but I think it could just be of interest, because it's basically, without giving too much away, this chap, I'll use my words carefully, I think, that's kind of gone like feral, and he's dressed in traditional skins, and he's like trying to live off the land, but it's like quite slapstick humor. It's like, oh, how long have you been living out the woods? And he's like, 10 days. It's really funny. And actually for me, the main takeaway and the reason why I sort of want to share it is because I think it's very thought-provoking. Sort of the link between the wilderness, modern society, and the stresses, like he goes to this camp at one point. I really don't want to give too much away. He goes to this camp at one point, and he finds his community, and they're all like living off the land and dressed in skins, and it's all like traditional and ancient crafts, and then somebody charges him with a credit card that just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, like, I don't know about you guys. I mean, my Patreon community know, because I've put up a few audio diaries recently, but like I'm really struggling trying to fit in modern day society. I just feel like I'm in the wrong era. I feel privileged. I feel humbled. I certainly want to make the most of it, but I feel conscious of my footprint everywhere I go. And it's really hard trying to make decisions that keep you in touch with nature. And this Wild Man film, it's just cool because it's sort of about his struggles, wanting to get back to nature and get away from the temptations of the 21st century, and just be more true to who we are at our heart as we're wild. And basically the guy sort of is struggling with his mental health and yada yada. It's really cool. I don't want to blab on about it too much because I really don't want to give too much away. But yeah, really enjoyed it. So as I say, that's hitting up the cinemas on the 6th of May in UK and Ireland. And well, again, hands up if you think you're gonna go watch it. Have a look at the trailer, as I say. But yeah, it was good. It was a good film. Anna enjoyed it as well. She watched it with me. So that's sort of that. And talking of like wild things, obviously many of you guys have followed my journey again. So if you're unfamiliar or you're new to this platform, so basically I have my sort of public interface, which is social media, which is YouTube, which is the newsletter that I put out every however I often do it. I'm really unofficial. And that sort of thing, essentially. And then there's the sort of community platform, so the private platform, which I run through my Patreon page. Just so happens that Patreon is the platform that I use because it's pretty much the only thing like it out there. Definitely a work in progress. But yeah, so there's I sort of share other stuff there, and the guys who are on that Patreon platform will know a bit more in detail sort of how my recent West Highland Way hike went. So hiking the 96-mile route from Mulgai in Glasgow across to Fort William. This is the third time I've walked that trail now, and they'll know. Basically, I was shooting a film, and I'm really trying to explore modern. You can probably hear the lamb in the background. So, meh. I'm really trying to explore a modern pilgrimage and what makes people go and hike. In the 21st century, like we don't have to, and what is that spiritual journey, what is that emotional journey, what is that physical journey that people are trying to do? And it was also a very personal journey for me, because I went up to walk that trail because I know it just like that. I don't need to think about it. All I need to do is get myself to Scotland and then bish bash bosh, just see how it goes. Wild camp the whole thing, super great. Quite a bit of snow on the mountains, well, not a bit, but a nice amount of snow on the mountains. It was just really scenic, the weather behaved, and I was there to test my back, which is really screwing me over. And it's not being my friend at all. But I got through it. I think I was really glad to finish when I did, because the pain was just getting too much. But it's always a debate for me, because I'm in pain doing nothing and I can be in pain doing something. So I'm always going to choose to be in pain doing something. Well, not always, but as often as possible. And that was sort of what the West Ham away felt like. It's, you know, I feel like I'm having to do this big internal journey, coming to realization just how debilitated I am by the pain. And so it was, you know, it was very emotional. I came back and I full on like face planted. And part of that face plant was definitely to do with my mountain leader assessment, which again, many of you have seen on socials. If you're on my Patreon platform, I've literally just uploaded the audio diary. It's a whole freaking 40 minutes long, onto my Patreon platform, sort of sharing some more intricate details about that experience. And again, you know, that was a massive undertaking for me. It's taken 7 years to work up to the courage to get to this point of tackling my assessment, and now I'm flipping out the other side of it. Madness. And I'm a qualified mountain leader, and it's really cool because it's really sort of opening up my thinking space to where I can take this, provided I can get on top of my back. So yeah, it's not bad. So it's been a good time. And alongside that, we've really I say we, it's just me, myself, and I, solo rap. Anyway, right. I've been working hard on the store, so you may have also seen I've launched a whole bunch of new products, and I'm not a materialistic person. I never want to feed into that through Wild or anything, you know. So basically, Wild has the sort of 5 values which you can find on the website, and everything we do, or I do, again, it's just we are, it doesn't matter. The whole purpose of it is essentially to inspire and empower people to get outside for the benefit of mental and physical health, whilst building meaningful connections with the natural world and with each other. And that connection part is really important, because what is wrong with that lamp? Because the connection it's a lot about stewardship, it's a lot about giving back, and actually we can give back by not doing sometimes. And so any merchandise that I bring to Wild, it needs to be in keeping, it needs to be environmentally sound, it needs to be it needs to be long lasting, as sustainable as possible. You know, there's a lot that entails. It's got a lot of criteria that it needs to meet, and I'm really proud because there's 2 new products in particular. So we've got our t-shirt, the Stay Wild t-shirts, which I'm actually really not wearing right now, which is bizarre. When do I ever not wear a t-shirt? Jeez. The Stay Wild t-shirts, the hoodies, they are selling very quickly. So if you haven't got your organic cotton hoodie, please jump on that ASAP. They're very nearly sold out actually, which is super cool. And I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna do them again, because the supplier has not, it just doesn't exist anymore, sadly. So I have to see what we do with that. But anyway, obviously it's just great to see you guys out wearing products. We've got the buffs. So the buffs are made from recycled polyester, I think it is. So we've got the orange and the green buffs. The orange are full on printed with Stay Wild, and the green has just got Stay Wild on the side. So those two buffs there. Then I have got, what else have we got on there? We've got, these are the new products essentially. Oh, we got Through Notes. So Through Notes is a really cool initiative started by Russell Hepton. So many of you guys may know him as the Trail Hunter. So me and him have hooked up because we're on a quite similar wavelength actually. I really love what he's doing. We connected through the podcast. It's really the joy of podcasting. Like it's never money. You can't get money out of a podcast, but you can get connections, which is super cool. We really clicked, and it was super great conversation. And then he came around once and we had a power cut, and it was just like, oh. So we just sat like there and made tea on the stove. It was like camping in the house because this house is cold. And he devised Through Notes. So he likes to write, and when he's on the trail, he found, you take a conventional notebook and it's going to get wet, it's going to get ripped, it's very vulnerable, and those notes are your memories, that's your experience. And so basically, I decided I really wanted to support him in his mission to create a notebook that's environmentally sound to the nearest possible sound. And basically, it's something people can take out onto the trails and document their experiences. And so Through Notes is the manifestation of that. So I bought a bunch of his Through Notes off him, and I'm selling them through my website for him, essentially, and for the community, because I believe in community projects, and I think what he's doing is great. So if you'd really like to support Russell and support me supporting Russell, then head onto the website and get yourself a little through note notebook. I feel bad for not having one right now. Essentially, they're like A6. They weigh about 117 grams. You've got 120 odd pages in there. They're waterproof, they're rip proof, they're really high quality made. All the ink is environmentally sound. It's all on the website, but that's through notes anyway. So that's super cool. Then when it comes back to my own creations, so this is one of them, Bosch. So many of you guys know last year we had water bottles, which were made from basically cornstarch. They were great. I'm really proud of them. People enjoy them, but we had reports that sort of the logo was wearing off, and if it was too sunny, like 40 degrees plus in the car, they may have melted, which was not ideal. And that is the compromise you often have with sort of these recyclable plastic situations. Well, not always, but sometimes. And so I decided to go for metals. So I've created these guys. So these are actually flasks as opposed to water bottles. You can obviously use it as a water bottle. 750 mil. And these are made from recycled aluminium. And it's like a mustard yellow. That's our logo. It's designed to not scratch off. And I have really tested it. Dishwasher washed and it's lasted. And the nice thing about these flasks, again, is basically, what I say again is sort of the long-lasting nature of it is what I mean by again. And the nice thing about this flask is basically it keeps water cold and it keeps water hot. And I know a lot of flasks do that, but this one does it too. So they are really thoughtfully designed. All of the metals are from recycled sources. You can actually trace it right back if you really want to. But on the website. But yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of these made and they're limited edition. So I quite like doing limited edition stuff. So get one while they last. They are flying out very quickly. I think I've only got like 30 left. So if you'd like one of these flasks, they are on the pricier side of things because they cost me quite a lot to make. But this is where I really believe that we vote with our note. You know, if you choose to pay more for something that is environmentally sound, you're leaving the world in a better place than when you arrived. Does that make sense? Like, and because you're not just buying another virgin metal product. Like if you buy a virgin metal product, you know, you're contributing to some mining system somewhere. Whereas this one, you're actually contributing to the promotion of recycling facilities. So it really does make a difference, at least in my opinion. So there we go. So we've got recycled metal water bottles. So these are all on the store. And you can see the top, it's a nice screw top. There, nice thread. And as I say, 750 mil. And oh my gosh, be careful because these keep water and liquids so freaking hot. Like the number of times I've burnt myself is terrifying. And then the third thing, which I think you're going to find super cool, because I find it super cool. And these are quite niche. They're not everybody's cup of tea. But I've been working with somebody who's actually connected through the wild community. And I suppose I could call him a carpenter. I don't know what the right word is. But he's basically made us a whole bunch of knives. So these are Spend More Time in the Wild official wild whittling knives. So they're made from yew. Every single one is completely different. You can see I just grabbed 3 for example. So it's yew wood. You've got a carbon steel blade with a leather sheath, and it's all being completely handmade. We've got well, all the information about the knife. I don't want to tell you something wrong, but you've got the washers and things. You can see it's so tidy, super polished, beautiful grip. I love these so much. And again, they're limited edition. So once they're gone, they're gone. And basically it's from dead wood. So the tree had already fallen down. It's not adding any tree cutting situations. So yeah, these are our whittling knives. And I think actually that, so they're within the UK legal limit. So UK legal limit's 3 inches. Obviously it is a fixed blade. But basically if you're interested in whittling or knives, I strongly recommend you get one of these just purely as a keepsake. And it's just lovely that every single one has been handmade, laser etched logo. You can see the whole thing is in there with the eagle as well. I say eagle, it's actually a buzzard, but there we go. Does it look like a buzzard or eagle? Right, we're overthinking this. So they are now available for shipping international. It is your responsibility to ensure that if you're buying a knife, it's within your legal limit of your country. You must be 18 years old to buy this. You declare that many times by the time you get this to your door. But I would thankfully the shift was on. I would love to see you guys out and about using these. I think yes, they are whittling knives. They're absolutely designed for that, but also I think they're just quite nice knives to have around camp, you know. Oh no, I forgot my knife. Let me just chop the tomato. So there we go. Yeah, I hope you're inspired by those. And so if you'd like to pick one of those up, I will quickly share. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Quickly share the. I don't even know what just happened to my thing then. Share the link for you so you don't have to go searching on the internet. Bosh. That's the link to the store. So I'm actually away from the 8th of May. That rhymes. That's fun. So if you would like to get your knife, bottle, t-shirt, buff, hoodie, fill in the blank through notes sooner rather than later, I strongly recommend you get it in the next few days. And don't forget, you vote with your note. We have a choice every single action we take, every single product we buy, whether it's from this store, whether it's a supermarket or somewhere else, to make a positive impact. Sometimes it is about sacrifice, sometimes like whether it's sacrificing more money, whether it's just saying no. That's all our call. We're never going to be perfect. That's the beauty of being fallible human beings, but we can be conscious and make those decisions. So I hope you guys like these. Do you like them? Can we have hands up if you like them and if you like these? Because freaking cool, isn't it? So that's that, and then there's just a couple of other things really to run by you before I jump on the side and just sort of make sure I'm answering some questions that people are sharing or asking. So first things first is, I generally speaking am running wild walks and events every single month. Now I'm in the process of expanding that. More news coming later. But I've got my wild walks at the end of May in the Lake District, 28th and 29th of May. They're fully booked now, I think, which is super cool. And then basically throughout the summer, I'm going to be adding walks on a bit more of an ad hoc basis. So my goal is that by the end of the month, so take May, by the end of May, I will know if and when I'm running a walk for June, and it will be online. The reason why it's not just like boom, boom, these are the dates that I'm doing is because it's still looking a bit sketchy what my year's looking like with regards to expeditioning and shooting films, because there's like brain explosion of all the stuff that's going on. And with the West Highland Way, ML training, I've just like parked all the admin. So now that I'm back, as of like yesterday, stepping back in it today, it's like, let's just take this slowly. So bear with me on that. But what I wanted to say is, if you've missed out on getting on a wild walk so far, please stay tuned across social medias. And most importantly, just keep checking out website. Spend more time in the wild.co.uk/wild walks. And you'll be able to see if new walks are added. So just check every few weeks. And I really am aiming to try and stick to the one a month. But I'm just going to have to see. I may miss a month, like June, for example. June is jammed. It's the jammy June. So we'll just see. But I have got one event that's on there, and we've got just a few places left. Now, this is a bit more extreme, shall we say. The National Three Peaks Challenge. So the National Three Peaks Challenge, for those of you outside of the UK, or if you're unfamiliar with that term, essentially here in the UK, we have three highest mountains in England, Scotland, and Wales. So we start in Scotland because we're heading down south. We got Ben Nevis, which actually isn't even in a national park. Fact of the day. Next up, England, we've got Scafell Pike in the Lake District National Park. And then lastly, in Wales and Snowdonia, we've got Snowdon itself. So they're the three highest mountains in the country. And it's a very common challenge for people to hike all of those hikes in 24 hours. That includes the traveling in between. So you basically like travel half the length of the country, if not slightly more. And I'm running the National Three Peaks as a little bit of an experiment in September the 16th to the 18th. It sort of works out. You know, we go up on the evening of the 16th, 17th is the bosh it out, and finish on the 18th. So we're starting in Fort William, and we got a few places left. So if you feel like your fitness and your mental stability, or whatever, your courage is up to the mark to take on the National Three Peaks, then head to my website again. Let me show the link. And the Wild Walk events page is coming up now. Bosh. And you can find the Three Peaks, and you go through the link. So it will actually take you to a different site, because I'm running this in partnership with another company who have been super cool, and they're all about giving back to the communities and the environment. And that's why we're running this as an experiment, to see how this goes and whether this is something we'd like to do more of in the future. Why are children loud? So that's just basically that. So National Three Peaks, if you're interested in that, have a look. If you're unsure and you just want a little bit of advice as to whether or not you should take the plunge, or you want to take the plunge, drop me a message on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and I'll get back to you eventually. I'm absolutely useless at messages. Everybody in my life knows that if you message Abbie, you're probably going to hear back in 3 months' time, because I'm that useless. So there we go. But I'll try my best. And also, if you just feel like you'd like some support in general with what you're doing, in terms of trying to get some inspiration and support for getting outside, whether it's hiking or biking, this is generally quite a hiking based community, but with Abbie Bikes Britain, nice segue, I'm bringing in a lot more of cycling and other activities. I'm really trying to just broaden this, you know, and it doesn't need to be big stuff. It doesn't need to be mammoth, like, and that's why I hesitated about running the Three Peaks, because it's like, actually, I'm not trying to encourage people to rush through a landscape and not even notice it. Like 3 peaks in 3 days actually sits probably better with the values of wild. But as a personal challenge, it's something I'd like to do. And I thought, well, why not? Let's just open it up to the community and we'll go do it together. So that's the National 3 Peaks. Again, book your place because they're filling up very quickly. I know it's September, but all you need to do is put down a deposit. This sounds far more commercial than I actually want it to sound. But anyway, that's just that. The last thing, as I mentioned there, was Abbie Bikes Britain. So Abbie Bikes Britain, most of you guys will know, but if you don't, it was a massive cycle I did last year. The end. Cool. Bye. No, so I cycled from John O'Groats and Dunnet Head. So John O'Groats is falsely familiarized as being the northernmost point of the UK. It's not. It's Dunnet Head, which is like 4 miles down the road. So John O'Groats and Dunnet Head down to Land's End and the Lizard. Now, Land's End and Lizard is the same argument, but down south. So everyone thinks Land's End is the southernmost point. It's not. It's the Lizard point. So why not do both, even though it was like 20 odd miles between them? Did it. So we cycled that distance, but not just like, oh, let's just go down the country. No, but like this, like a ping pong ball. Because we went via every national park. It was 2,000 miles, it was 55 days, and there are 15 national parks in the UK. And we hiked to the highest point of every single national park. And basically, we ran those walks as group events. So the wild walks, so people came along and joined us. I can see some names on the side of people who came and joined us for the walks. And it was super special. It was such a humbling experience. We came up against unimaginable, insurmountable, incomprehensible obstacles of a nature that we never could have anticipated, but we got through them. Anna and I are still a thing. Yeah, I think a few people have watched the trailer and gone, "Jeez, that looks intense." But it was a life-changing experience for me, and the whole purpose of doing this Sufferfest was to basically create a pedestal upon which I can communicate that we have so much power with our voice. Again, quite often we talk about money. I've already done it. Money being our greatest power to make a difference, but it really is our voice. It's finding the courage to speak up, particularly collectively. And through Abbie Bikes Britain, we were really trying to raise the profile of getting outside being good for us, getting outside with the community being good for us, having a sense of belonging, and getting outside with the interpretation that we are part of something bigger, and that giving back can create a sense of meaning and purpose to boost well-being. Like, this is all part of that holistic approach that we're really trying to explore. And so the 3 films we've produced are coming out on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th of May. That, guys, is in 11 freaking days. It's officially happening. And then following that, I've got like a van tour video. We've got stretching routine. I've got my kit that I cycled in. We've got first impressions of van life video. What else have we got? Probably some live Q&As and stuff coming out as well. I haven't quite worked out the order in which it's all going to happen, but obviously the 3 films are coming out in order. So please, please, please put that in your diary. Please, 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 like, tell everybody who likes the outdoors or cycling or hiking or national parks or anything to put it in their diary, because I really want to create a solid ripple effect with this. And the best way we can do that is through word of mouth. Like, I believe in the power of the internet, and I suppose it is a kind of way of communicating, but we have the power to change and we have the power to inspire. And that's by hearing people's stories and by sharing stories. And I'm hoping to share a story that's going to inspire you. So there we go. That's my little waffle. So Abbie Bikes Britain, 13th, 14th, 15th of May. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's on the channel. Check it out straight after this. Don't forget to head to the store, have a little mooch about, see if there's anything of interest. And if you'd like to join us on the 3 Peaks, we'd love to welcome you. It's a small group, so it's not, you know, I'm going to really get to hang out. I am participating as a participant, as Abbie Barnes, as opposed to Abbie the ML. So you will have my full attention. So yeah, it's there's some good stuff happening, and then we'll see what the rest of the year brings, guys. And so look at that, almost bang on point 30 minutes. How did I freaking do that? Oh yeah, I was going to have a look on the side. So that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to talk about. So let's have a wee check-in. People are shouting at me. Thames Path anytime. Thames Path. 180 miles. Cross following the length of the Thames. River Thames is that the longest river in the UK? Or have I got false information? I'm not a lowland leader. Well, actually I am. But anyway. Yeah, the Thames Path appeals. I actually was thinking about doing that last year. I get asked in these live sessions pretty much every combination of trails, hikes, walks you can ever imagine. Cycles more and more now as well. So I basically just say yes to everything at some point. So stay tuned for that one. I have to be honest, I'm really feeling the itch to get international. The bigger stuff is calling me. I mentioned earlier about being in pain doing nothing and being in pain doing something. I can be in pain do something, but if it's something that actually really takes me out of my body because it's like, whoa, look at this landscape, then that helps even more. And that's why like the Alps, the big mountains, the big challenges in that sense really are definitely my calling right now, shall we say, as opposed to a humble walk along the River Thames, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not underestimating it. It is still 180 miles. But that's sort of my thought processes around that for the moment. So that's that. Country Walking are very excited about your triple film debut. Thank you very much, Country Walking. Woo! Country Walking, if you haven't subscribed to them, you don't even have to go full on paper. You can go e-magazine. Really great source of information and inspiration again. Chatted with some of the people who work for Country Walking at the National Outdoor Expo, and just got to say, inspirational what they're doing. And I love that even in this electronically manufactured world, there are still magazines. I just think it's great. Just really want to support that. So there we go. Bosh. How are you feeling today, Abbie? I'm feeling good, thank you. Appreciate you asking. Good stuff. Cool. Anybody else shouting me? Do you ever suffer from IT band syndrome on the trail? I have once. That was on the Tour de Mont Blanc, but that was purely because of my back. So I tied my hip belt so tight that my hip went numb. Then it affected my IT band, which was like numb. And it went down to my foot, which then ended up getting plantar fasciitis. So don't recommend doing that. In fact, look after your back, kids. What does that entail? I'm presuming I saw that pop up when it came to the mountain leader stuff. So actually, I did just dive in there. So here in the UK and internationally, there are bodies of awarding organisations that offer schemes, courses, awards to sort of manage the outdoor industry. Here in the UK, we've got the Mountain Training Association, the MTA, and under them you can do various courses. So there's like a natural progression in which one can flow to gain your skills and qualifications. So there's just skill-based courses you can do, and then there's actually qualifications that you can then hold through an assessment. So the natural progression here in the UK, you've got lowland leader, you've got hill and moorland leader, you've got mountain leader, you've got winter mountain leader, you've got international mountain leader, and then that's just sort of the hiking section. And then you've got climbing section, you've got paddle sports section. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You've got your first aid sections. Like nothing is ever a dead end. There is always another thing. There's continuous professional development the whole time. And for me, I'm a hill and moorland and a mountain leader. Somebody asked me about my winter mountain leader. I'm just going to see. International mountain leader feels a bit pointless currently with everything the UK has gone through, so let's not stress about that. But right now, it's just about living out the true values of being a mountain leader. It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about giving back and making a difference to these beautiful wild spaces that we're able to get out and explore and work and play in. So that's really the mission I'm on right now. So yeah, that's that. Thank you for the question. Can you please do brighter colored t-shirts? We thought about this. If I sell more things, so I get some space in my house, because we have a house, but you can't see it underneath all the stuff. Because if I sell some things, then yes, I will get some. The orange ones have been in quite high demand, so don't worry on it. Cool. Let's have a new look. Make a new walking stick. That's controversial. I quite like my walking stick. What's the best mountain trail to start in the Lake District? I saw a few guys you put about Old Man of Coniston, actually, which is definitely recommended. But mountain trail, I don't know. Skiddaw is really straightforward, up and down, nice big path, and you can park in Keswick to save driving up the mountain and sort of contributing to that. Support the local economy, find one of those little independent stores, buy a nice coffee at the end, easy peasy. Skiddaw. There we go. Cool. So I think that is a wrap. Would you ever walk the AT? Geez, if I had to quit every time somebody asked me that, it's a great question. What did I say about trails? Yes, the end. Good stuff, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because it's actually starting to rain, and tech and rain, I've learned, is never a good thing. I'm trying to be a good human and not destroy the expensive things. So let's just do that. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been so cool hanging out with you. And I just need to see what car that is. Is that Is that Anna coming home from work? That's the question. No, it sounds like a tractor. She doesn't drive a tractor. Imagine that, driving down. Hello, it's me. And Bobby's like, woo! Anyway, sorry, I'm weird. It's fine. Own the weirdness. you know there's weirdness because one of the values of Wild is to laugh every day. And then it's like, P.S. Do you like our naked moose? And it's just a picture of a moose. Right, I'm going. It's raining. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Get outside. Have some adventures. Remember, adventure is a mindset. It doesn't have to be massive. Just go into the park, looking at some wildflowers. Breathe deep. That is adventure. Live it out. Big hugs and stay wild. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.